Hello, class. My name is Tom Glad, and I've been asked by your teacher to do a short video on the subject of mystical experiences and psychology. So that's what I'm gonna do. First of all, I'm only gonna speak to my own experience of what I know and understand a mystical experience to be. However, other people might have other definitions and other ideas about it, but these are mine. So, the first thing, I have some notes here, so I might be glancing over here once in a while. First of all, a mystical experience is an experience uh, of a spiritual nature where the mind of the subject is opened up to unseen aspects of life and unseen elements of life, and um, becomes privy to the laws, the subtle laws that run the universe. So, to me, a mystical experience always relates to a spiritual identity and a spiritual reality beyond this physical one. Uh, so a lot of times when somebody comes back from a mystical experience, they speak about, uh, ideas of love and unity, and these are very common reports for these kinds of experiences, which leads me to believe that that this is the actual true nature of them, that the mind discovers the love and the unity behind all appearances of this physical universe. So, uh, about 12 years ago, I had an experience such as this, and um, and it changed my life. It changed my life in ways that I could never have imagined. And the effects of that experience are with me to this day, every day, and I live them and I experience them. Um, so, um, who has mystical experiences? Okay. Anybody can have a mystical experience, but there isn't a magic formula to having them. A mystical experience, uh, in my view, depends solely on one thing: the level of the mind's openness to receive new information and to receive new and startling information. Uh, when our human mind, when our egoic animal mind uh, is faced with an experience uh, such as a mystical experience where the physical reality is shown to be unreal or less real, shall we say, um, that is, to the animal and egoic mind, that is a very troubling idea, because the animal mind, the egoic mind, um, depends on the idea of separation and the idea of uh, the physical senses being an accurate measure of what is really happening and what is really going on. Um, so as far as I understand it, as far as my own experience showed me, and as far as I've heard from others who've had this experience, mystical experiences are generally brought on by prolonged focus on non-physical reality. So that can be prayer for somebody, that can be meditation, that can be contemplation, but it is a prolonged concentration and focus on ideas that are non-physical uh, and of a divine nature. So sometimes actually people experience these mystical experiences as a result of trying a drug of some kind, be it uh, like a chemical drug or a more natural drug. Um, the the drug induces the mind to just sort of blow open and become aware of things that it was not aware of before. Now, um, uh, it seems to me that a mystical experience uh, is everyone's right. And it seems to me that really it's just a matter of time for everyone before such an experience is had, because I feel like it's part of evolution. It's part of learning that we are not just physical beings, and it isn't just physical laws that are in the works here in the universe. Um, so, uh, in my own experience, which I call revelation, um, the main thing that I learned that has changed my life is the underlying law that functions in this universe, and you've all heard it before. It's the golden rule: to do unto others as you would have them do to you, and to give to others that which you choose for yourself. Now, my experience showed me that this law is the most fundamental law uh, of this universe, or any universe, really. Uh, this is the only one I am aware of at this time, um, but that it is actually the underlying law that governs everything here, and such an understanding and such conviction in this law cannot really be attained through means of like physical study or any kind of study. It is given to the mind by an experience um, that only the mind can have. So, uh, what I'm saying here is that in my experience, that is the main understanding that I received. It is the the nature of the golden rule and how it functions here, and also um, the rule is an expression of an underlying unity behind everything here. The fact that none of us are really separate, we just think we are. That that everything here is interconnected and part of a whole, and that all of it functions in accordance with non-physical as well as physical laws. And those sometimes seem to be in conflict, and sometimes they are not in conflict. If you study quantum mechanics at all, you'll understand what I mean. Let me just look at my paper here. So, is there a way to tell? Uh, is there a difference between a mystical experience and a psychotic kind of break? The only difference, well, the visible difference that I can tell, the first sign of a non-mystical experience, but rather a psychotic break, is um, fear. A mystical experience, uh, as far as I know and as far as I have ever heard, brings peace and tranquility to the mind. Whereas a psychotic break, a mental breakdown, brings fear with it. So that is the main way that you can sort of tell whether a person's having a psychotic break or a mystical experience. Now, there is an aspect to mystical experiences that I have to talk about here, and hopefully this will give you a rounded idea of what I'm talking about. The mystical experience is not experienced by the animal mind, okay? It is experienced by a higher mind capable of understanding what the eyes cannot see and what the animal mind does not understand. So, the nature of these experiences is one where the experience has long-lasting effects, but the experience itself does not last for a very long period of time. It is usually, and I would say most all the time, a temporary experience that is had, the mind benefits from what it has learned, and then it returns to the world in a more normal state of mind. Now, this mystical experience is had, as I said, by a higher mind, not your egoic and animal mind. So it is very common that the egoic mind defends against the experience at the earliest chance that it has. When you return from the experience and you start feeling more normal and sort of more human, shall we say, your animal mind, your egoic mind will attempt to recover from that experience. Now remember, the mystical experience shows you that nothing in this universe is separate. Now the animal mind is based on everything being separate. Okay? So the animal mind will defend against this experience that totally discounted its whole view of the universe. So naturally, you're gonna get a backlash. And this is where it is important for some kind of discipline, some kind of mind training to happen. Because if you do not learn how to deal with the seeming contradiction of your mystical experience and your everyday life, guess what? You're not gonna have a cohesive life here because it will be too confusing. And actually, when a mystical experience is induced by drugs, that often leads to a repetitive pattern of psychological breakdowns and problems, just because the mind's not capable of dealing with the intense contradiction that the mystical experience created. So I would urge anyone to do it the right way and to prepare their mind to learn of something brand new and something that contradicts everything you know now, because that's what a mystical experience is. So anyone can have such an experience, and hopefully these experiences can bring only benefit to the mind that receives it. The experience itself can only be positive, but the reaction of the egoic and animal mind to this experience can vary quite dramatically. So a person who has had a mystical experience is not crazy. A person who's had this experience understands or has glimpsed aspects of the universe that no one will ever see with their physical eyes, and no one will ever comprehend with their animal/egoic mind. So there is no way to truly understand a person who's had a mystical experience unless you've had one yourself. And then you will find that most often you're talking about the same ideas. You're talking about the underlying unity behind everything. You're talking about love. You're talking about connection. And you're talking about the laws that make for happy living here. So, I think a mystical experience is part of a journey of enlightenment. Well, to me, enlightenment is simply to perceive through light, to see through vision, and vision can be physical and non-physical, and the mystical experience is an experience of vision that is non-physical, and it often contradicts what the physical eyes see. So if you're having a mystical experience, I would suggest that you just um, embrace it and go as deep within it as you can, and remember when you come out of it to find some discipline, something to something you can use to apply the non-spiritual vision that you gained to your everyday life here. Otherwise, the contradiction will be too great. In my life, because of the experience I've had, I've simply just allowed myself to trust that this law of giving, this golden rule, this unity behind all things, is what's really true. And so I follow those laws, and I follow that vision more than I follow my physical vision. If anybody would like to learn more about me and communicate with me, feel free to do so. You can ask your teacher for my contact information, and I'll be happy to communicate with any of you. I hope this has helped you in some way, and I hope you found it useful, and I hope all of you one day will have a wholesome and truly profound mystical experience, and you can write to me, tell me all about it, or tell your classmates, tell your teachers. Yeah, so thanks for listening to me ramble, and God bless you, and thank you.